In a time when the world had turned its back, when hearts had grown cold and strayed far from the light, darkness began to creep across the land. The whispers of heaven were ignored, lost in the noise of a world consumed by its own desires. But one man still listened. One man still walked in faith amidst the chaos. His name was Noah. When the world forgot God, only one man listened, and his obedience would save humanity. The Lord saw the state of the world he had created, and his heart was filled with sorrow. He spoke to Noah, a righteous man, perfect in his generations. He gave him a task so immense, so unbelievable, it would test the very limits of his faith. So God said to Noah, "Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, and I will establish my covenant with you." Noah did not question. He did not hesitate. With his family by his side, he began the colossal work. Day after day, under the hot sun, they toiled. The sound of hammers and saws echoed through the valley as the great vessel took shape. People would stop and stare, their faces twisted with scorn. They laughed at it. "Look at the old fool," they jeer, "building a boat in the middle of dry land. Has he lost his mind?" But Noah's faith was an anchor, holding him steady against the tide of their ridicule. He kept building his trust in the divine promise, unwavering. As the ark neared completion, a miracle began to unfold. From the forests, the jungles, the mountains, and the plains, they came. Animals of every kind, drawn by an unseen hand, journeyed toward the ark. Lions walked peacefully beside lambs, great elephants followed tiny mice, and birds of every color filled the air. They came in pairs, male and female, just as the Lord had commanded, and filed into the vast wooden ship. The mocking laughter of the onlookers slowly faded into stunned silence. With Noah, his family, and all the animals safely inside, the great door of the ark was sealed shut. Then the sky began to change. The sun disappeared behind a thick blanket of menacing gray clouds. A single drop of rain fell. Then another, and another. Soon, a gentle shower turned into a torrential downpour, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. The heavens opened, and water surged from the great deep. Thunder cracked like the sky was breaking apart, and lightning illuminated the terrifying scene of rising waters. The world that had once mocked Noah was now consumed by the very flood he had warned them about. The mighty ark, once a symbol of foolishness, was now their only hope, lifting and rising on the churning waves. It floated above the highest mountains, a lone vessel of life in a world reclaimed by water. Inside the ark, there was peace. Amidst the storm raging outside, the animals rested calmly. The soft glow of lanterns cast a warm light on Noah and his family. They gathered together, their hands joined in prayer, their voices rising in thanks and reverence. Their small community of faith was a beacon of hope, protected within the sturdy walls of the ark, floating on the promise of their Creator. After many days, the rain stopped. The waters began to recede, and a gentle breeze started to blow. Noah sent out a dove, and it returned with a fresh olive leaf in its beak, a sign that the land was reappearing. Hope blossomed in their hearts. Finally, the great ark came to rest gently on the mountains of Ararat. The huge door opened, and a brilliant, warm light flooded the interior. As Noah, his family, and all the animals stepped out onto the fresh, clean earth, they looked up at the sky. There, stretching from one horizon to the other, was a magnificent, vibrant arch of color. A rainbow? It was a divine signature, a promise painted across the heavens. "I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth, a promise that the world would never again be destroyed by a flood." As they stood in awe, a new world stretched before them, full of promise and a second chance. The story of Noah is a powerful reminder. Obedience saved Noah. Faith saved his family. And God still saves those who trust him. The same promise of hope and salvation is available to us today, if we only choose to listen and believe. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories of faith and hope.